With the NBA constantly evolving, players who were once vital contributors to championship contending teams can quickly fade to obscurity. Some even disappear without getting thought of for years, especially young promising future stars on the rise only to take their talent elsewhere, becoming absolutely nobodies. Then all of a sudden, they're considered the worst player in the NBA. Many of those players now hooping overseas, not even age 30 yet, whether it's injuries, being on bad team situations, getting blamed as scapegoats. Many of those role players' career take a downturn after leaving their successful franchises that gave them everything. These players who were once impactful on contenders, now in the bottom shelf of laughingstock terrible rosters.
Starting with Bruce Brown, formerly with the 2023 champion Nuggets, to now a nobody on the New Orleans Pelicans. 3 different teams in less than 2 seasons after winning a title with Jokic. Thankfully for Bruce, an expiring contract, free to take his talents anywhere next season, but just won't get paid like he expects. Many haven't thought about him since 2023. The second rounder out of Miami U put up highly respectable numbers, playing big minutes for both 2022 and 23 postseason, a small ball 4 at just 6'4". Brucey B at the height of his powers, after signing with Denver on a bargain, played the perfect role, averaged the career best 11.5 points off the bench, even played crunch time minutes as a defensive specialist, made an immediate impact, scoring double figures 4 of the 5 games first round Minnesota series, minus Jaden McDaniel and Nas Reed, won 4-1. Had Denver had Bruce Brown last postseason, given how bad the bench were, many believed they would have held off Minnesota in Game 7 instead of running out of gas. Brown had a masterful 25-point Game 5 semis, from picking Brown's pockets late Game 2 to outplaying D'Angelo Russell, dropped 15 the Game 3 win, went 3 of 3 from deep. One of the most important X-Factor sparks off the bench, delivered an absolute masterclass Game 4 Miami series, 21 points on 8 of 11 shooting on the road, never gave the Heat any chance, always seemed to get a basket or rebound at the right time, a do-it-all type energy guy. For a Jokic-led team with Murray a perfect second option, secured the glass, giving Denver a 1-point lead off an offensive rebound, the championship clinching game, nailed the game sealing free throws, snubbing out MPJ with Bruce, a masterclass coaching display from Mike Malone, received 2 years $45 million. Calvin Booth absolutely had no considerations retaining him, played 33 games with the Pacers, then traded in the Pascal Siakam deal, viewed as a trade piece. Brown simply the type of player who's the size of a shooting guard but a non-shooter, an all-out hustle guy. Dry playing with superstars like Kevin Durant and Jokic, have no use for mediocre teams. Toronto basically used him as a trade piece that landed Brandon Ingram, another mid-tier star level guy similar to Siakam. Now Brown, stuck on the cursed Pelicans, he'll just have to deal with Zion for a couple months, proven to remain a professional with the Raptors. Unless Brown joins a contender filled with multiple stars who makes role players better than they actually are, he'll continue being a forgotten figure if he ends up on another bad team next season. If New Orleans have any interest paying him big dollars for the franchise to stay mid, his impacts on the court will slip further from contending relevancy. Brown's trade partner, Kelly Olynyk, joins him in New Orleans, the soon-to-be 34-year-old out of Gonzaga, entering the twilight stages of his career, a successful role player under contract till 2026, from Boston's unsung hero, being a key factor in many of their deep postseason runs. The former 13th pick in the 2013 draft had his Larry Bird-esque performance, Game 7 2017 semis, dropped the playoff best 26 points, 10 of 14 from the field, forever haunting the Wizards franchise, delaying them a trip to the conference finals. They haven't made it since the 70s, forcing the poverty team having the longest conference finals drought in all of American professional sports. Wizards fans still have nightmare about his beard and hair. At least had his Larry Bird-like moment many will never forget. Olynyk also made his impacts felt for Miami 2020 finals, had a great couple games during the Milwaukee series, played center 2020 finals with Bam Hurd, dropped 24-9 Game 2 with a shorthanded squad despite his clumsiness. Most memorable for outscoring Anthony Davis, Game 3 of that series had 17-7-7. From being told he wasn't going to see the floor during the finals, Kelly's stretch impact opened the floor for Jimmy to work in the paint, forcing AD to guard him out the perimeter. Unfortunately, Olynyk's magic ran out Game 4, shut down to a dozen minutes, a DNP Game 5. Miami had nothing left Game 6, exercised his player option, traded to rebuilding Houston, absolutely balled out there for half a season, only to end up with the awful Pistons and Jazz, then the Raptors, wasting away on terrible teams, averaged the career best 12.5 points with 2023's Utah, started all 68 games, should have been a trade piece that deadline, but too late. His value tanked, continued being a backup center, can't defend at a high level, a poor rebounder for his size. Olynyk's skill resembles more of a power forward, but not mobile for that in the modern NBA. A terrific stretch center, excellent passer, and good outside shooter. Toronto gave him 2 years, $26 million. Only logical reason, because he's Canadian. Always known as a good locker room guy, was captain for Team Canada before shifted to New Orleans. Lunch Lady shot 44% from 3, somebody Warriors fans would have dreamed of getting. Now Olynyk's impact on winning teams seems like a distant memory if he plays out the rest of his career on more bad teams. Marcus Smart. I made a video on the former Defensive Player of the Year just a couple weeks ago. Here's the link above if you haven't watched. From Heart and Soul of the Seas, former teammates of Kelly O's for 3 seasons, the defensive anchor and starting point guard for a finals team that was a couple good plays away from taking a 3-1 lead. After being traded to Memphis in the Porzingis package, injuries and poor team situation diminished Smart's impact as a whole. As more time passes, many believe Marcus just a product of a good franchise being utilized properly, and wherever he would have landed after Boston, the fit wasn't gonna work. Limited to just 39 total games, 21 months since last wearing a Celtics uniform, turns 31 years old in March, and injury prone, lost lots of quickness, still can't shoot. All of a sudden, Memphis gets rid of him from basketball glory, joining elite all-time greats Michael Jordan and Gary Payton in a decorated list, to being associated, given away for a couple huge NBA busts, traded for the awful Marvin Bagley and Johnny Davis, now on the Washington Wizards. That's as rock bottom, as an absolute travesty as it'll get. His flop antics only work in Boston, making over $21 million till 2026. A guy hard to trade for. Another full season goes by before he becomes a free agent on his way to vet minimum status, or even potentially out the league altogether. All that's left for Marcus Smart legacy, whether he's the worst Defensive Player of the Year winner all time, no award winner in the NBA has aged more poorly than Smart's Defensive Player of the Year honors. Grant Williams, another classic Brad Stevens Celtics disciple. There's no bigger loser in the league all of 2024 than Mr. Fake Tough Guy himself. From getting traded from Dallas only to not fit in, sent to the shadow realm of the league in Charlotte, just like former teammates Marcus Smart and Kelly O, many haven't thought of Grant Williams' name in over a year. 2 of his former teams then played in the finals. PG Washington went from being called empty stats loser overnight to impactful great role player on a contender. Williams himself, averaging 10-5 on a deep lottery squad, signed 4 years $53 million, might be stuck with the losing franchise till 2027. Many already forgot Williams tore his ACL back in late November, already out for the season after 16 games. The 26-year-old might already be damaged goods when his contract expires. Just like Olynyk, Grant had his masterful Celtics Game 7 moment 2022 semis, 27 points, 7 3-pointers in a 28-point win over the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks, but wasn't the long-term answer. Struggled badly in the finals, finished the pathetic 2 of 11 combined shooting last 3 games 2023 Conference Finals Miami series. Everybody in Boston finally had enough of him. Being 6'6", way too small to play power forward, tends to do too much. Realistically, the 7 or 8 option on a good team the next couple years won't be too friendly, with all the losing playing for Charlotte. Y'all thought it was over for former Celtics players? Well, think again. Can't forget Robert Williams, Mr. Injury Prone, Time Lord, running out of time to stay healthy. 27 years old, Brad Stevens made the absolute right call, trading him for the durable Jrue Holiday. Only played 60 games once in 7 possible seasons, 25 games total, with only 2 months left of this regular season since traded from Boston. One of the most unique defensive bigs when healthy, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Williams deserves more credit, being an incredible rim protector. Many believe Time Lord's impact should have given him Defensive Player of the Year over former teammate Marcus Smart. Marcus wanted due to reputation and media hype. Williams still a top-notch defender when healthy, but his problem is he's never healthy, missing more than half his possible career games. The type of guy who still has value but too risky of a gamble given how he dives for every loose ball and puts his body on the line. Blazers fans can only hope to trade him for a first-round pick before a major injury happens, if he ever puts in a couple stretches of good games. Given the cursed history of former Blazers big men, being with Portland should be the last franchise Robert Williams a part of. The other player traded to Portland with Robert, none other than former Boston's Malcolm Brogdon, the point guard who was supposed to move the Celtics over the top, but traded for injury-prone reasons, getting hurt at the worst possible time, only to score 0 points Game 7 conference finals, being the last straw, way too unreliable, missed half his possible games since being traded. Jrue Holiday himself played 25 more regular season games than Brogdon and Time Lord combined since the trade. Malcolm, now a nobody in Washington, went from Rookie of the Year to borderline All-Star with Indiana, and declining the last couple seasons. Already age 32, will become a free agent, might have to settle for a vet minimum, proven to not be trusted. His starting point guard days on a playoff team long over, best case as a 6th man. Brogdon hasn't played more than 67 games a season since his rookie year. His time in the NBA could be over before we know it. Kevin Huerter of the Chicago Bulls, an absolute painful downfall from Game 7. Hero with the Hawks, dropped 27 plus the dagger 3 that ended Ben Simmons' career with the Sixers. The main reason why Joel Embiid still never made the conference finals. The former 15-point scorer with Sacramento, now a shell of himself, barely getting playing time. First 3 games with the Bulls, now 26 years old, lost a step after getting his money. It's an absolute travesty. Huerter shooting 29% from 3 on the season when that's supposed to be his strength. Traded in the Zach LaVine deal, already having torn his non-shooting labrum, possibly affecting his shot. Not the same after the surgery. Doesn't have the confidence. Being on a bad team likely won't help since there's no real meaningful basketball being played. When Mike Brown used him as a Klay Thompson role, Huerter's slashing abilities disappeared, became completely unplayable when his shot's not falling. Likely won't be relevant the next couple months. DeAndre Ayton came to the 2018 draft having Hall of Fame-like talent, supposed to be a guaranteed 20 and 10 guy, more like 20 minutes 10-point guy, a disaster of a lazy #1 pick, will forever be known, selected ahead of Luka, now a nobody on the Blazers, absolutely irrelevant since he left Phoenix. We all saw the red flags coming to the league. Ayton never tries on defense, relied on pure talent alone, but when the work ethic's not there, talent can only take you so far. When asked about what defined him as a success in the NBA, his response, getting his second contract. Huge warning signs of disastrous consequences Phoenix didn't take seriously before it's too late. Putting up 16 and 10 on a 19-win team, a promising rookie, but suspended for PEDs first 25 games of his second season. DA was not going to be a generational superstar, but a proven terrific role player to say the least. After team acquired MVP candidate Chris Paul, allowing Ayton to finish easy lobs, maximize his role at the height of his powers. 2021 playoffs, did a great job containing Jokic, reached the peak of his basketball career after the game-winning alley on the Clippers, made the finals just his 3rd season. A title would have justified his legacy being the right pick over Doncic, but once adversity hit, Ayton's fragility and weakness shown. Got destroyed by the more hungry Giannis, outplayed by backup friend Kaminsky in the finals closeout. Got jealous when MacLeod got $90 million. Despite team chemistry at an all-time high 2022, Ayton absolutely demolished Game 7 semis, humiliated by Luka, played 17 minutes, 5 points, quit on the team. Indiana later gave him the max, Phoenix stupidly matched it. Ayton's dreams came true of a second contract. The lazy 7-footer put more work into playing video games well into the early mornings, constantly gets little sleep, only to fail to focus on his actual NBA games, more invested in 2K. Despite new addition Kevin Durant, a mentally checked out Ayton continued to quit on Phoenix, showed no efforts, irreparable damage done, despite being in position to contend, traded to Portland for the inferior Jusuf Nurkic, now a nobody as a 14-10 guy, wasting his talents, the perfect example of a potential Hall of Fame talent and multiple-time All-Star if he would have put in the work. Now DA will be remembered as one of the biggest lazy underachievers, choosing comfort and luxury over blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing should shock you if Ayton decides to retire completely from the NBA after 2026 when his contract's up. He'll already make over 170 mil by then.
Other players includes Gabe Vincent, starting to play much better with the Lakers, but extremely streaky, never been an efficient shooter, made his entire reputation during the 2023 finals run with Miami. The Lakers can't be that bad if Luka can stay healthy. While Caleb Martin looking to find a way in Dallas to figure things out after leaving Philly, Steph Curry might be in Charlotte now. His hometown team, 34 years old, he's just getting old, had his great moments. Jordan Poole, the best player on the Wizards, not quite a nobody, but a classic one-of-a-kind, Shaq and the Fool type player. Cam Johnson balling with the Nets, but wasting his talents away as the best player. Jeremy Grant's been on bad teams for half a decade now. He's now declining. Which one of these forgotten former good players has had the worst downfall since leaving their former contending teams? Share your thoughts on the comments below. Subscribe for more content. See y'all real soon.